Thank you all and welcome to my session, a sentiment analysis using Azure Data Factory in 10 minutes here at Data Minutes. In this session, I'm going to show you a quick demo and I'm going to show you how you can apply a sentiment analysis in your customer data without any prior knowledge of maths, data science, machine learning or programming language like Scala, Python and Java. You can very quickly build that by just a drag and drop. So let's start myself. I'm Alpa Buddhabhatti and I'm working as Azure consultant at Cluster Reply. I have provided you my LinkedIn information. So if you have any question or would like to join me, then please feel free to do that. So this is today's agenda. Today's agenda is divided into three main parts. In first part, I'm going to give you an overview of 1 minute for two Azure service, and then we're going to see demo. So let's see first one, which is Azure Data Factory in 1 minute. So it is a cloud-based data integration service. It helps you to orchestrate and automates your data pipelines. It is a Azure PaaS service, which is platform as a service, and it's a serverless. And because of these two reasons, you don't need to worry about compute infrastructure, software installation, or hardware. Azure will provide for you, and you can purely focus on your implementation. And because of that, you can quickly build your pipelines or software products very quickly. And also because of these two reasons, you only pay for what you have used. For example, you have Azure Data Factory created, but it's not executing, then there is no any charge for execution. However, you get very small amount of charge or cost for a storage, which is very small, which can be negligible. And it's a no code or low code solution. You can very quickly build your pipeline by just a drag and drop. So this is Azure Data Factory, but if you need more information, then this is the link. So now let's see next one, which is sentiment analysis in 1 minute. So here we have used Azure Cognitive Service for a language, which is one of them is a sentiment analysis, but you can have other services as well, like identify image data or video data or audio data, but here we're using only on a text data. So it's analyze a text in a which like small paragraph or big documents. Is apply the text analytics on that, and then it do it like extract, classify, and understand a text within your documents. It give a sentiment labels such as a negative, neutral, positive, or it categorized like that way. And it's just to do with a natural language processing technique or algorithm. But you don't need to worry about it all because it is a no code or low code solution, and you just use it like that way. That natural language processing system is already built and it's used behind the scene in sentiment analysis. So for that, you just need to create a Azure language resource, which you can create in a 1 minute, 1 or 2 minutes, and then it will give you a key and a REST in endpoint, which you can call it as a REST API in other Azure services like Power Apps, Power BI, Azure Function, Logic Apps like that. And you also can use it with a client library like C Sharp, Java, JavaScript, and Python. So this is a sentiment analysis in 1 minute. You can get more information in this link. So now let's move into demo. Uh, Before that, let's see, these are the Azure resources you need to create in order to run this demo. And this is a very high level architecture for a solution. So for example, we have a blob storage which contains the client feedbacks, customer feedbacks in a feedback test in container. It's at the moment it's only CSV file, but it can be like mix of JSON or any other format, because client may have a more than one system and they have a data feedbacks or review from different systems as well, and they can be in different formats. And sync, which is Azure SQL Server, which store the finalized output, which have a sentiment analysis. And then we have Azure Cognitive Service, which is a text analytics. at the moment in here in this scenario, and is apply the sentiment analysis on a customer feedback. And we have Azure Key Vaults, which is a central place store your secret connection string or access key, and it's in a very secure manner is stored in a central place using the key vaults. Then we have Azure Data Factory, and this Azure Data Factory read customer feedbacks from a blob storage, and it's applied the sentiment analysis using the Azure Cognitive Service text analytics, and it's use it as a REST API, and it stored the result into Azure SQL Server. So this is a higher level architecture. So now let's move into demo. So this is my Azure Data Factory. And before that, let me show you key vaults. So this is the key vaults which hold the secrets for two different connection. One is blob storage and one is Azure SQL Server. This is my blob storage which has a feedback desk in container which hold the customer feedbacks. This is a very small amount of data because I want to do a demo, but in real time you have a huge millions data here. And here I am just saying that my data is like, I'm just giving the products like ADF, SQL Server, SSIS report like that. So these products is good or not. I'm giving like customer giving the review about their products. So this is a review. And once I run my pipeline, it will generate a sentiment analysis and it's stored in like this way, positive, negative, which is in JSON format. It will say that for customer 1, ID 1, sentiment is positive or negative or neutral for each record, and result will store in my SQL database. So I have recently run this pipeline because I have used Azure mapping data flow, data factory mapping data flow, which take 5 to 6 minutes because behind the scene Databricks Spark cluster spin up, so it's taking time. So I have just ran it. So this is my lookup activity which read a customer data. It's passed to for each loop, and here you can see that I have used a sentiment analysis, which is very simple, which is REST API web activity. As this is endpoints, and these are the information I need to pass here. And this is a message body. That's it. We just need to pass this information here, customer ID and feedbacks, and it apply the sentiment analysis, store the results in variables, and then store the result into blob storage. And finally, it's used the mapping data flow, and it stored the result into Azure SQL Server, which is here. So this is, now let's go back to here presentation. So with that, I would like to give you a key takeaway for this session. So first of all, we see Azure Data Factory, which is a cloud-based data integration service, and it's helped to do data movements, data transformation at a scale, and it's provider orchestration as well. And it has more than 100 data sources available, so you can very easily move your data or transform your data from one data source to another data source. Then we have seen Azure Cognitive Service for language, and one of them is tax analytics. So here we have used only unstructured data, text data, and so it is summarize a big documents, and it's provide a sentiment on big documents. So it save your time. It understand a common topics and trends in your organization, which help you to improve your products or service and ultimately your revenue. And you can use it with a wide range of languages. It's not only English language, but it supports a lot of other languages as well. And because of this, you gain a deeper understanding about your customer sentiments. So with that, I would like to thank you for attending this session, and thank you, Ben.